Good day. Welcome. May your hearts be filled with the highest love. And this is, of course, what we're all wanting on this path, that our hearts are filled with the highest love. And so let me see here. Everyone's getting in the room. I'd like to invite you to come to our upcoming retreat, February 2nd through the 4th. That's in just a couple weeks now. So I hope you can join that and be a wonderful opportunity to commune together in the light. Yes. What I'm going to invite us to start with is just to really ask yourself, what is my relationship to Kundalini like? What is the nature of this relationship? And so we can take a moment and just close our eyes. I really want you to connect with your heart, to connect with your body, to connect with this quiet sense of truth, with your presence, your essence. And then from this space of essence, I invite you to ask, what is my relationship with Kundalini Shakti? What is it like? Is it fully an egotistical relationship where my ego is fighting with it? Or am I fully in my true nature and I fully receive this energy? Is it somewhere in between? What is your relationship to Kundalini Shakti? And so I want to ask the question again a different way. On your worst days, what is your relationship to Kundalini Shakti? Like, how do you relate to it on your worst days? You see it as an enemy? Do you see it as a tyrant? Do you see yourself as a victim of this? What is your relationship to Kundalini Shakti on your worst days? And then I'm going to invite you to reflect. Why is that? Why is my relationship different on a day, let's say, with more intense energy? What is that about? And I'm going to invite all of us here to stay rooted in our truth and not to blame the energy, but to look in your own consciousness and notice, what do you do differently on a difficult day in relationship to Kundalini? So, like, what is it that you are doing that is making the relationship different on a difficult day? And then we'll take a deep breath. We see the truth. On a great day with Kundalini Shakti, what is it that I am doing that is adding to it being a great day? Like, how am I relating to the Kundalini Shakti, which is making it easier for the Kundalini Shakti to integrate, to collaborate, to merge with your consciousness? And we take a deep breath and we really see the truth here. We're seeing the truth. And with that, we can gently open our eyes if we like. And a big part of this spiritual path, enormous part, is you realizing a higher way of relating to Kundalini, to God, to life, to your experience. This is a path of spiritual awakening. And in a path of spiritual awakening, we must choose to identify with the highest aspect of our being. And as we do so, the path becomes easier. There is less suffering. And yet, when we choose unconsciously to identify with our lower nature, our fight or flight nature, our egoic identity, there just tends to be a greater amount of suffering. A greater amount of suffering because we are stuck in a view, a perspective that's rooted in insecurity. At the beginning of the day, at the middle of the day, at the end of the day, we must acknowledge this. We cannot continue to walk a spiritual path from the perspective of our egoic identity. It fundamentally does not work. It just does not work. In fact, if we continue to hold on to our egoic viewpoint, God is left with one option. And it's not a pleasant option. But the option tends to be, I'm going to turn up the heat. I'm going to turn up the heat. Because when we suffer greatly and we fail greatly, to respond to suffering in a healthy, healing, change-oriented way. And so if we're in our egoic nature and we're not changing, we're just holding on to our egoic nature. I don't like this. I don't want this. I just want to feel good all the time. That's the egoic nature. If we hold on to that viewpoint, eventually God is left with one option, which is to break us. Now, there is a different option. A different option. And this is what we call spiritual awakening, where we wake up and we see the game. We see that us holding on and fighting with energy, fighting with God, fighting with this movement of divine intelligence. We see that, oh, God is the boss. I'm going to surrender. I'm going to open. I'm going to trust. I'm going to trust. Everything becomes smoother, and I'm going to use the word easier in the long run. Sometimes it's a little bit harder in the short run, but it's easier in the long run. Now, all the great yogis of the past knew this, and they developed their will, their spiritual will, around this acknowledgement of, I'm going to make myself an open vessel, an open conduit for grace to flow, for light to flow. Whether it feels good or bad is irrelevant. I'm going to make myself an open conduit, and I'm going to trust, because I know that through this path of being open, being loving, being peaceful, being calm, being sane in the mind, being sane in my emotional nature, will greatly speed up the path. And I will get to, quote unquote, the promised land sooner than if I fight against it, than if I complain, than if I resist. And yogis throughout history said, okay, what is the way? The way is a way of peace. It's a way of love. It's a way of meditation. It's a way of being open and receptive. What's not the way? Resisting, fighting, struggling against, trying to control, trying to force, trying to stop. And it's quite interesting that so many individuals on this path wake up every morning and choose again, I'm going to put the little caveat in there, unconsciously, just to resist all day long, all day long, all day long. And some of that is purely unconscious. Some of it is purely habitual. And the way it continues is if we actively ignore or deny our power, which arises through the ability to choose, just like we have this power of choice. When we're a victim, we say, I have no choice. This is what's happening. God is doing this to me. When we're a yogi, we see, oh, I have one choice here, to cooperate or to resist. And I'm choosing to cooperate. And the yogi that makes this choice greatly speeds up their path. The yogi who makes the other choices says, oh, this is too much. I can't handle this. I can't handle this. This is too much. This isn't fair. This isn't fair. This isn't fair. I don't like this. I should be doing something different. I should be rich, like that guy or gal on TV. Like, I should be rich like them. I should be supported. My mother or father should have supported me. If we continue to align with those thoughts and feelings, the path is going to be a lot longer. And what I'm going to invite for us as we look at this new year going forward is for us to really examine this basic choice. Am I going to go with the flow, or am I going to try to fight the flow of the universe? What is my choice? Where am I going to align? And when it comes time for sharing as a group, I want you to really hear yourself. Where am I aligning? The easiest thing for all of us to do is going to be the habitual thing. We come in here and we say, it's hard, it's hard, it's hard, it's hard, it's not fair, it's not fair, it's not fair. This is too much, it's too much, it's too much. That way will not get you to where you want to be. That way is like pouring gas on a fire. So in this coming new year, I'm going to invite us to take charge of our spiritual life, our spiritual path, with one word. Yes. We say yes to God's plan. We say yes to this energy. We say yes to our experience. We say yes to what's arising. The ego's one word is saying no, 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 no. I watched this show last night, and it had a lady on it, this character, and her character, like her role it was for 2 episodes, was just to say no, 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 no. And it was terrible. No one wanted to be around her. She made suffering, like she created suffering. She manifested suffering for the whole family around her. You know, the whole family was trying to go on this great adventure and say yes to life. And it was a difficult adventure. It was a dangerous adventure. They knew it was dangerous. The whole family was saying, yes, we're going to go forward with hope and faith and trust. And we're going to face the boogeyman, you know, that lies in the mysterious unknown ahead of us. And this woman she spent the whole time saying no, no, no. And you just saw in her energy field, all of her chakras were closed, were shut, and she lived in a state of misery. And it was self-created misery. Self-created. We'll use the Buddhist term here, self-fabricated. We can fabricate realms of pain and suffering. And the realm I'm going to invite us all to look at is the realm of resistance. Resistance fundamentally doesn't work. We've all been on this path long enough to know this. That resistance fundamentally doesn't work. But then someone might ask, well, what does work? Well, we say yes. And now I'm going to invite us to work with a very specific form of yes. So again, we'll close our eyes. And I want you to look into, like, with a deep sense of honesty, we're inquiring into our experience. And I'm going to just invite us to play with acknowledging what is your specific resistance. So we're not judging it, we're acknowledging it. So I'm going to invite you to see what is my unique, specific form of resistance? How does it manifest? What does it do to my body, to my chakra system, to my central channel when I identify with this resistance? And so you can see that very clearly. And then we'll ask a new question. So you stay with your experience. Is there a way that I can reframe this resistance? Is there a way I can try something different? Or I say, yes, this is hard. That we validate it, that it's hard. But I know I'm on a path of healing and awakening. I know I'm on a path of enlightenment. Yes, this is hard. Yes, this feels stuck. But also I know I'm going forward on the path when I choose the higher way. Yes, I know that God is trying to teach me something here. That life is trying to open me to something greater. And I want you to take a deep breath as we reframe our experience of, yes, it's hard, but I know deep in my heart that I am on a path of healing and awakening. Yes, this is hard, but for some reason, God has chosen to awaken within me. And so I choose to cooperate. And with that, we take a deep breath. And then all of us, I'm going to invite us, just do a little meditative energy work. So we're going to meet in our root chakra. Taking a deep breath and just gently inhaling. And as we inhale, inviting, this gentle ball of light to begin to ascend up from the root into the hara, into the solar plexus, into the heart, into the throat chakra, into the space of the mind, out the crown, and essentially just like clearing out resistance. And as we exhale, seeing the same orb of light, you can imagine it like the size of a small soccer ball or volleyball, flowing down the front. Again, clearing out any resistance. And again, as we inhale, inviting this microcosmic orbit to gently clear out resistance, bringing forth a gentle sense of light. As we exhale, this orb of light descending the way down to the root. And as we inhale, this gentle stream of Kundalini Shakti flowing up the spine, out the top of the head. And as we exhale, coming down the front, clearing out any heaviness, any denseness, any rigidity, any old habitual resistance. And again, breathing in again and gently envisioning this orb of light rising up the spine, clearing and illuminating the chakra centers, bringing forth the healing vibration of peace, bringing forth a sense of balance, bringing forth a sense of flow, which is the opposite of resistance. And as we exhale, the orb of light gently flowing down the front. Again, as we inhale, this light rising up the spine, illuminating the chakra centers, flooding the body with light, clearing the nervous system, bringing forth a loving sense of harmony. So again, we meet at the root chakra. Again, inhaling, gently inviting Kundalini Shakti to flow, unperturbed, unblocked, right up through the central channel, out the top of the head. And as we exhale, flowing down the front. Breathing in, inviting the light to ascend. And breathing out, inviting the light to descend, creating a gentle sense of harmony throughout the body. Gentle sense of harmony. Breathing in, gently inviting this energy to flow up the spine. Harmonizing the body, harmonizing the 7 chakra centers. As we breathe out, energy coming down the front, creating a sense of balance, of harmony throughout the nervous system. Inviting any sense of egoic resistance to more fully melt into the space of the heart, into the space of the hara, deeply trusting. Deeply trusting that love is the way. Deeply trusting that stillness is the way. Deeply trusting in this immense peace, which is the very foundation of your nature. Deeply trusting in the clarity of your being. deeply trusting that the intelligence of the heart, the intelligence of the heart, is the best, most healing, most intelligent aspect of your being, the best voice to listen to. Deeply trusting that you can surrender your egoic mind, your egoic identity. And so again, we're gently envisioning this microcosmic orbit, light flowing up the spine on the inhale, flowing down the front on the exhale. Trusting in this path of meditation. Trusting in this path of balance and letting go. Trusting that love is the way. Trusting in the strength of your divinity. And with that, I want to invite you just to gently open your eyes. And again, I will more fully welcome you into this room. And I invite us all just to take a moment and to reflect. What is my experience? What is my relationship to Kundalini Shakti? Now that I've become more centered in the depth of my true nature, now that I've opened my heart, now that I've released tension from my body, now that I've dropped out of my mind, what is my relationship to this thing we call Kundalini? And I invite you to take a good look at how your experience has shifted. And the recognition, just this basic recognition of what works and what doesn't work on the path. What works and what doesn't work.